Here are 11 benefits of a VA loan. First-time home buyers, you need to take notes. You've heard that VA loans are pretty awesome, and they really are. Let's go through the different benefits of why you would want to use a VA loan if you can, because you're a veteran or you're in the military. And these are the different reasons why you would want to use one. Number one, and the most obvious, and my favorite one, that there's no down payment required for you to use on a property when you're buying a property with a VA loan. Number two, no PMI. That's private mortgage insurance. Unlike their cousins of the FHA loans and conventional loans, when you put less than 20% down, typically you need to have private mortgage insurance on a property. Because the VA is a special loan, then we don't actually need PMI on a VA loan, which is a huge benefit for you. Number three, you can actually finance the funding fee. Some borrowers, could be upwards of 3.5% for some borrowers, and that's a lot of money depending on what price the property is that you're going to buy. And the funding fee is determined by your benefit, but you can actually finance this into the loan amount as long as it makes sense with your qualifications to be able to use a VA loan for a purchase. Number four, funding fee exemptions. Some borrowers in particular are able to waive the funding fee. That means that you don't have to pay it. Check with me before you go through underwriting to determine if you're going to be able to waive that funding fee. Number five, competitive interest rates. Competitive interest rates means that the VA loans are typically 0.5% to 1% lower than their cousins, the conventional loans that are out there. Now that's outstanding, and the reason being is that this is a benefit to the borrowers who have served our country or who are serving our country. Easier credit requirements is number six. Since the VA only insures loans, they don't actually make the loans. We don't have to have a minimum credit score to be able to qualify you for a VA loan. Now, most lenders out there will have an overlay on the lowest a credit score is that you can use, but you don't need to have perfect credit to be able to use your VA loan. Number seven, VA loans are more forgiving after a credit event. And a credit event could be anything like a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a short sale. And in most instances, you're going to wait a long time if you're going to get a conventional loan, several years before you can actually use a conventional loan again to buy a property. But with a VA loan, it's a little bit less restrictive. And instead of waiting several years, you may only have to wait a couple years. Check with me for more on that. Easier income qualifications is number eight. There are no requirements for how much income you need to have in order to use a VA loan. Now, this allows us to stretch it out just a little bit further, more so than the conventional loan counterparts. Number nine, closing cost limits. The VA limits the amount of closing costs that a VA veteran borrower can actually pay for in a transaction. Some of the other things can be paid for by the seller or by the lender, but there's only a certain amount that can be paid for by the veteran themselves. Check with me for more info before you purchase your next house. Number 10, you have a lifetime benefit with a VA loan. That means you can use your VA loan over and over and over again. There is no number of times that you can use it. So if you used your loan 20 or 30 years ago and you're thinking you're not able to use it again, in fact, you can. Go ahead and reach out to me for your next VA loan. And number 11, no prepayment penalties. You can pay off your loan at any point without any costs associated with you. And the last one is a bonus benefit that I'm going to give to you. It's called assumability of a VA loan. VA loan is one of the only loans out there where you can actually assume it from another person who's got the VA loan. You don't have to be a veteran to be able to assume the loan. So let's say you're going to go purchase a property and it has a VA loan on it, and they got their interest rate a couple years ago when it was in the 2% range. You could assume that loan from the VA. They wouldn't be able to use it again unless you were a veteran and you signed a piece of paper that says you are exchanging your eligibility on your VA loan for their eligibility on the VA loan. That way they can go use a VA loan again to buy their next house. But assumability is one of the cool things about a VA loan that you don't have. Thanks so much for watching. Look forward to chatting with you really soon, and reach out to me for your next VA loan.